Los Angeles burning, and farewell to Jimmy Carter. Welcome to 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know for this Friday, January 10th, 2025. I'm Derek Gilbert. Item number 5 this week, Syria. This is a subject that we've had our eyes on for a long time, going back to 2011, when there were some online researchers referring to Syria as Pipelineistan. Why do I say that? There are some who argued as far back as 2011, yours truly included, that the civil war there began as a struggle between two competing groups for pipeline routes for natural gas from the Persian Gulf. One side, with the backing of Saudi Arabia and Qatar, support from the United States, wanting to ship oil or natural gas from the west side of the Persian Gulf through Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria, and then on to Turkey, and then from Turkey on to Europe, and of course every nation along the way getting a cut of the action. On the other side of the Persian Gulf is Iran, wanting to ship its natural gas through Iraq and then Syria and then on to Europe, bypassing Turkey, bypassing Saudi Arabia, and of course that side backed by Russia. Well, the civil war began in 2011. Assad was supposed to fall within weeks. He didn't, and so the plans got stuck on a shelf. Well, those plans are now being dusted off again on both sides, right now with the Sunni rebels, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, in control of Damascus. It looks like the Qatar-Saudi Arabia side is ascendant, but in fact, Qatar has just announced this week it's going to pay the rebels in Damascus to increase the salaries of Syrian government workers and civil servants, trying to buy a little favor with money. This will be a very interesting country to watch in the, this year, 2025, going to be a very interesting year for a lot of reasons. Again, one of the issues to watch is the role of the United States in all this. As I told you this week, despite Pentagon denials, the U.S. military apparently building a military base right on the border between Syria and Turkey in a region controlled by the Kurds. The Kurds who control everything in Syria east of the Euphrates River, and that's where some of Syria's largest oil fields are located. So the Kurds have no friends in Ankara. The government of Recep Tayyip Erdogan has said that they do not envision a future for Syria that includes any Kurdish presence at all. And with the U.S. military right smack in the middle of our Kurdish allies there, this could lead to a very difficult situation between the two largest militaries in NATO. Topic number 4, Los Angeles burning. This blew up this week and has become the largest wildfire incident in the history of Los Angeles. 5 major fires there burning out of control. Pacific Palisades, a very wealthy enclave, essentially gone. Malibu threatened. Friends of ours out in that region having to flee their homes. Actor James Woods has had to flee his home. Many others in that area who have supported the liberal policies of the Democratic city government and state government there, now fleeing for their lives in the face of these wildfires that, as of this recording, were still 0% contained. Now, there are always conspiracy theorists who are quick to jump onto this because if you're the first one to put something out there that gets traction, you get a lot of clicks. Yes, there are insurance companies, major insurance companies, that canceled policies in the regions now affected by wildfires over the last few years. California does have a state-sponsored insurance plan, a sort of insurance plan of last resort that only costs you an arm and a leg. But there are 2 simple reasons for the devastation in LA, and it doesn't require any conspiracy behind the scenes to figure this out. Number 1, the state of California makes it difficult for insurance companies to do business because of excessive regulations and fees. Number 2, the city of Los Angeles has mismanaged resources to protect these neighborhoods that are now engulfed in fire. For example, in her city budget, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass cut funding for the fire department by $17.6 million, second largest cut in this year's budget. She actually wanted to cut $23 million, but the city council managed to whittle it down to just $17.5 million. So it's no wonder that insurance companies looking at the situation in California, let's see, no removal of brush, no clear cutting, no reservoirs to speak of, would look at the homes in those areas and say, hey, insuring fire traps is bad business. That's what's going on in California. The city's been criticized for not filling critical reservoirs, not managing aging power lines, not adequately clearing brush, allowing sprawling homeless encampments with open fire pits on windy hilltops, and prioritizing diversity in hiring in the fire department instead of competency and training. And Mayor Bass may have just killed whatever political future she was hoping to have by flying to the nation of Ghana on Tuesday, the day the fires were actually beginning to emerge, despite having warning from weather services that conditions were ripe, exceedingly dry, and very high winds for the catastrophe that is now unfolding in California. Topic number 3, the UK scandal. Talked about this the other day. Elon Musk kicking off a political firestorm by criticizing the government of two-tier Keir, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, who's prioritizing mean tweets over putting actual criminals in prison. Starmer government has lashed out at Musk, but it's worth noting that Starmer really is presiding over a justice system that has its priorities backwards. For example, an activist, Sammy Woodhouse, an activist against child sex abuse, been sounding the alarm there for years, revealed on X that she was contacted by law enforcement, South Yorkshire Police, calling her, who ordered her to delete social media posts about the scandal. Now, Woodhouse is a native of Rotherham, which, as I told you the other day, is where some 1,400 young English girls were groomed and abused by men like these 6 who were convicted, Pakistani Muslims. Woodhouse, in fact, was a victim of the Rotherham gang back in 2013. She's been at the forefront of urging authorities to do something about this. She posted to X, quote, "I've received a phone call from South Yorkshire Police tonight about my reporting on X. They've asked me to delete posts and not to report on Rotherham professionals moving forward, even though there are no reporting restrictions on the case. I'd like to add the information I've reported came directly from South Yorkshire Police over 6 months ago," end quote. Yes, you see, it's worse in the UK to actually report on the scandal than the scandal itself. Item number 2 this week, Canada. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announcing Monday that he was stepping down, resigning as the leader of Canada's governing party after nearly 10 years as Prime Minister. Trudeau said at a news conference that he'll stay on until a new Liberal Party leader is chosen. That vote coming up March 24th. Again, a pretty quick turnaround for a new election, but it may be they're gambling that a short, quick, intense burst of advertising will help put forward candidates that might otherwise be unpopular, as the minority parties in Canada are now rapidly becoming majorities because of the consequences of liberal governments over the last 10 years. Coming up, America says farewell to Jimmy Carter. That's next on 5 and 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now you can help the Skywatch TV ministry continue to broadcast the gospel of Jesus Christ to the 4 corners of the world and receive your very own copy of this incredible new work when you order the Destination Earth Ultra Collection. This incredible collection not only includes the brand new book Destination Earth, Ancient Aliens, the Ancient of Days, and the ancient plot to hybridize humanity that reveals for the first time ever Christ's own words that refute the alien God interpretation, who and what aliens originally were according to the Bible, how they fit into the Antichrist's agenda, and more. But you'll also receive the documentary film, The Great Delusion, the second coming of Earth's oldest enemy, that exposes why the Vatican is in possession of a telescope named Lucifer, why the ancient and mysterious civilization known as the Anasazi suddenly disappeared from historic record, how alien abductions might be connected with chapter 6 of the book of Genesis, and so much more, featuring legendary interviews with Dr. Chuck Missler, L.A. Marzulli, Dr. Thomas Horn, Nick Pope, and more. But that's not all. You'll also receive the best-selling book, Encounters, Extraordinary Accounts of Angelic Intervention and What the Bible Actually Says About God's Messengers by Allie Anderson and Donna Howell. This paradigm-shattering work details true accounts of angelic intervention as told by those who have experienced them. It reveals how misconceptions regarding angels came to be and how the early church unintentionally propagated the myth that these beings are weak. and frameworks the fierce capacity of angels' powers, including their strength in warfare, ability to fly, and how they manipulate earthly elements to carry out God's will, and more. All of these items hold a retail value of over $65. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. Support the ministry of Skywatch TV today. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Destination Earth Ultra Collection right now.
Item number one today, Thursday, the funeral of America's 38th president, Jimmy Carter. He was laid to rest. Supporters and friends of the late president attended the service Thursday morning at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. The so-called President's Club, those are the 5 living presidents, were all there. President Biden, former Presidents Clinton, George W. Bush, Obama, and President-elect Trump, all together for the first time since the 2018 funeral of former President George H.W. Bush. Carter's legacy is a difficult one to analyze at this point. Future historians will have more, I think, clarity to see it. Those of us who looked at his policies, especially his outspokenness on certain policies in recent years, perhaps have a more negative view. Those of us old enough to remember life under the Carter presidency, it was a difficult period in America's history that led to the rise of Ronald Reagan and Morning in America, if you remember President Reagan's campaign slogan. President Carter, by all accounts, was a good man, a decent man, an outspoken Christian, taught Bible studies, but perhaps naive. He was well known for being a micromanager. It was widely reported that he took it upon himself, for example, to assign the parking places in the White House parking lot. Not something the President of the United States should be wasting his time on. His legacy, peace between Israel and Egypt, has held for these last 50 years, although we note that this week, the week of Jimmy Carter's passing at the age of 100, Egypt apparently making preparations for war. So again, future historians will have more clarity when it comes to analyzing and critiquing the Carter presidency, but again, Jimmy Carter, dead at the age of 100 and laid to rest yesterday in Washington, D.C. This week on Skywatch TV, we tackle a question that is maybe considered too fringe for some churches, some pastors, and that is the UFO and alien abduction phenomena, and specifically questions that are asked by people who take it completely in a different direction, asking, is Jesus an alien? Seriously, there are some people who believe that. And that is a question that we address on this week's program. Again, sounds fringe. The answer from our perspective, of course, is no, Jesus is not an alien. But like I said, there are people out there asking that question. We, as the church, we've got the answer. We should be prepared to give it to them. It's based on our new book, Destination Earth, which I was honored to co-author with Donna Howell, Allie Anderson. You can watch the program right now at skywatchtv.com. You can watch it over the air. Our broadcast schedule posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. Got a set-top box, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, or a smart TV, Fire TV, Roku. Please add the Skywatch TV channel. Watch these programs on the big screen. You can also watch it over the internet, youtube.com/@Skywatch Television, rumble.com/Skywatch TV, or bring the program right into your mobile device, smartphone or tablet. Download for offline viewing later on if you so choose. There are other features on the app as well, a place to donate if you are so led to help us continue the ministry here. It is available for iOS, Android, Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets. It's absolutely free, and we have links to their app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. You can follow us online, 5 in 10 at YouTube. That is at 5 in 10 on YouTube. Also, X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. Have a blessed weekend. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.